Okay, I'll do a little bit of a rant on new season again. I mean, rant. I'm not gonna really rant. I'm just gonna give my thoughts. My people are gonna think I'm complaining, even though I'm just gonna explain how the game works. Bro, the tier 99 client is so bugged. Look, you can't even see what skin you select, and then the skins are all locked, and then it's just RNG whether it's gonna give you a skin or not. That's how it works. Like, do I have a skin? Ah, I got a skin. Some of the updated thoughts on this new season. Because I did like a video or whatever a few days ago. And some people agreed with what I was saying. Some people thought I was only complaining for the sake of complaining. And I just got a top quest. Interesting. So I didn't test this out. If you don't select a quest, it just gives you top lane quest as a Zarat. Shouldn't it default to a mid lane quest? Well, who knows? Well, the first thing is there are infinite amount of bugs on this TR that we experienced as a team already. So number one is I'm pretty sure Baron is giving you just weird amount of gold. Number two is I'm pretty sure you don't get any gold for killing first tower, even though Riot said they would give you more gold on the first tower. Number three is if you have a Zir, there's a chance either your or enemy towers aren't crystallized because of his passive. It ruins the tower crystallization. It's very hard to win because you can't break towers. And a lot of gold is in towers right now in the new season. And then the fourth bug that we experienced today that I can think of is we killed a champion that was 0-1. The gold was completely even on both teams at like minute 7 or something. And by killing the champion only got you only got like 140 gold or something by killing a champion, even though you should get almost 300 or probably like full 300 gold. So I have no idea if Riot is gonna like ship the game as it is right now because it's just insanely buggy. So I guess the first point that I saw a lot of people give a very big negative, a lot of people disagreed with what I said was the level 1. I said that the minions spawn almost instantaneously and you just walk into lane and you don't really have any time to like level 1 invade or make any sick plan or anything. The game just insta starts, and a lot of people told me in the comments that they actually think it's better this way and that they hate level 1 invades because it's so RNG and blah 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 blah. I was actually surprised because I thought people are kind of with me on the same page, that they like the strategic depth of level 1. Anyway, my opinion hasn't really changed. I get that maybe people don't like it in solo queue, but like, you know, at least in like high elo and competitive, yeah, I don't disagree that the game maybe should be sped up a little bit because level 1 can feel a little bit long. But I feel like Riot went completely, you know, instead of meeting in the middle, just making the game, I don't know, a little bit faster, but still give a little bit time for level 1s. They went fully to the maximum where you have almost no time for level 1. So I would kind of like it if they went into the middle ground. It's kind of like my point. One thing that I complained about, I said that the way the quests are is really weird because the moment you step out of river, you stop gaining stacks on the quest and it incentivizes you to just stay AFK in lane like after you clear the wave. I said this. Well, after another 30 games of scrims, I think that my point was completely spot on. I have a lot of games on Midland now where it is simply just incorrect to even step like right here. If you step right here, you will stop gaining any quest. So you're literally you clear the wave and you literally just press S at your tower and you do nothing until next wave. I think it like really creates like this very bad gameplay loop. I don't understand. Like the way, in my opinion, should work is I think you should keep gaining the gold, and then the moment you enter river, it should give you like a 5 to 10 second timer where you still keep gaining the normal quest amount, and then it eventually like disables or something and goes to the low quest gain. I don't know. So some sort of middle ground like that I think would be much better for the game. I personally think the way the quest works is very dumb. Another problem that I have is, I mean, this is a very small problem because I like to optimize things and it maybe won't be a problem for solo queue people, but you can't control when you want to do an empowered recall when you get mid lane quest. So for example, if you're right here, let's say you're right here in the base and it's late game and you want to press B, you cannot do the normal recall, it will give you the empowered recall no matter what, and you don't want to waste it. So a lot of times you're just kinda, if you don't want to waste the recall, you have to walk back to base. I don't think Riot will change this though, I'm just saying how it is, but I don't think Riot will ever give you an option to control your recall. Okay, I didn't even complain about this, I just said that the Fey lights, the Fey zone, I don't know, these zones that give you a lot of vision are OP, that's what I said. People said that I'm complaining, even though I wasn't, I was just saying that they're OP. I wasn't even complaining. Yeah, I still think they are very OP, these vision zones, and because I'm pretty sure you get more trinkets now, like a lot more trinkets. I'm pretty sure more and more champions are gonna stay on yellow sweep, yellow trinket, and no longer play red sweep. I think the meta will kind of change in terms of trinkets. Even later in the game, like this shit is just way too OP. Like you want to just place this everywhere, and then once you start like losing, you get different zones in different like areas, and then people will just keep dropping this. It makes like retaking and playing around vision like very dumbed down and brainless. And Riot, I think, is doing this intentionally because they want to make the game like they want to simplify the game every year, and this is like vision is like a big lever where they want to like simplify the game because of like support players and stuff. So I said that jungle is nerfed, which I still stand by. Jungle will, I think, feel like different in solo queue. I still think it's going to be most likely the most impactful role just by fundamentally, but it's not going to be nearly as OP as it is right now, just because there's just way more vision on the game, in the game, so it's easier to spot junglers, so people will be dying less. And I think the camps are tankier, so every jungler clears slower, so that's like less frustration because then junglers are later on crap, they're later at influencing lanes. And then when it comes to objective, I mean, junglers will still have basically the most say in objectives, and you know, like if your jungler never goes to Dragon, you won't really be able to do anything as a laner. It's just still like every big objective is still the jungler's objective at this point. Like they control whether you get them or not for the most part. I said that most new items are useless. Now the thing is, I have a really hard time judging how strong these new items are. Like for example, nobody ever bought this item, so I can't say whether it's strong or not really. I mean, of course, you can read the stats. People haven't really like, this is gonna come in when solo queue data comes. Still kind of think this item is bad. I think this item is really good on certain champs. This item is actually quite good in my opinion. Might be actually OP on its boss users. What else did I want to talk about? So there's this, Stormazer, haven't really seen much. This item is just like weird. I don't know if it like belongs in the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just a weird item. Gunblade, the sustain on Gunblade feels unreal. For example, you play against Akali and she presses 1Q, she heals 100 or more. I've noticed that if enemy laner, like let's say you're playing this Akali, you play against Gunblade, it kind of makes you feel like you want to rush Oblivion Orb really fast into the game. Especially if they have even more healing on the other lanes. Horizon Focus is actually back to its old version, by the way. It gives you 10% increased damage. I don't think it's that big of a deal, and it kind of depends on the champion, but it's probably a little bit stronger now, I would assume, or like on its best users. Actualizer, nobody bought this ever, and I kind of don't believe in this item that much. Dusk and Dawn, not many people bought it. And I'm actually, it's really hard to judge how strong this item is. This item is still, I think, very strong. I think this item, Protoplasm Harness, is also probably pretty good. This item, I don't know if anyone's gonna buy this besides Sona. Oh, also, I want to talk about Redemption. I was thinking about this the other day. I think like the Redemption throughout this year, I think this item is just like very OP design. I didn't really like this item because I think it's dumb that you are mid lane as a support, but you're influencing a 1v1 on bot lane. Obviously, it's probably more of a pro play and high-elo player thing because those like the players there are better at using Redemption. But I absolutely hate how like at Worlds, people were playing whatever melee support and they were redemptioning a side lane and influencing like 1v1 fights and stuff like that. I think it was like very bad for the game. I don't know, like it just doesn't sit right with me that this item has this much range. It's weird. You can cast it when you're that. It has like crazy amounts of range and it's like crazy heal. I think this is like a step in the right direction what Riot is doing this season. As you can notice here, the Redemption doesn't build out of Kindle Gem anymore, which is a massive nerf to the item, especially in like pro play and on melee support. So this makes it that the item is a lot worse at rushing. It's still probably going to be bought, right? And it's a little bit, it's still like obviously better on enchanters than melees. So it's like better balanced this way, in my opinion. But yeah, still unsure like if it's fine to have an item with this much range. Also, I said that like supports are gaining insane amounts of gold and they're going to be able to like reach full build, right? I saw a lot of people like saying that I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe slightly I'm wrong. Because I played more games. I think supports probably won't be able to reach full builds on average, unless it's maybe a low elo game where the game goes very long. But they will on average have at least one item more per game, I think. I still think it's scary because people don't realize that when carry supports are being played, like let's say Shaco support as an example, and just these breakthroughs where Shaco has an extra longsword or not are very impactful for the game. and this can mean it's a difference between killing somebody and not killing somebody, and then it's just a snowball effect. Like even if supports gain only 50 more gold, that is valuable, even though the number seems small. I mean, I guess 2 more points. First one is like towers feel weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like towers feel so fucking weird in the new season. I'm not saying everyone's gonna feel the same way as me, but this is just my feeling. Like, first of all, the fact that plates don't go down after 40 minutes feels fucking weird. I don't like that plates are on tier 2s and tier 3s. I just feels weird. I can't explain it. Towers tankiness, they feel so weird too. First of all, their HP bar feels weird because, you know, the first plate is like very small, and then the second one's a bit bigger, and then the third one's a bit bigger, and then the fourth and fifth are very big, like the bar. And then when you hit the tower with multiple champions, they unironically like feel either way tankier when multiple people are hitting them, or way squishier when only one person is hitting them. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that melee champions... okay, Riot, I know they changed their formula. I haven't really read it through. I'm not sure how it works. But the initial feeling that I have is that melee champions are just fucking one-shotting towers. Like, it's nothing. So I think split-pushing champions, even though Riot said the game is going to be more about split-pushing, I feel like they're getting massively buffed. Like, I'm thinking in champs like Aurelia, Jax, Fiora, like any champ that is melee and has some sort of a steroid in kit where they destroy towers really fast. I just feel like melee champions are completely out of control when it comes to like towers, especially if they have even inbuilt shit for hitting the towers. I'm telling you, it is a really weird feeling playing against this type of champions so far in scrims. Waves being sped up late game also feels really weird. Now, obviously, maybe this feeling will go away, but it doesn't feel like the game is very synchronized anymore. I don't know, like... Oh, the timers have changed, right? You push a wave, like let's say you push a wave here, and then the next wave is gonna be here already, as in before it was like here. Like the timings have really changed how the side waves work, and you're gonna need to be able to like get used to it. But the game feels obviously very zoomer, which is what I mentioned last time. I guess one more thing is like the gold allocation to me also feels really weird still. Just the fact that cannons give you 50 gold throughout the game now. I don't know, like I think on average the gold feels kind of similar throughout the game, but it just feels like maybe you get a lot more gold hitting the towers now compared to before, and a lot less from minions, which, I don't know, doesn't sit that well with me. I don't know if that's good for the game. And then I guess last thing is like the home guard, right? I mentioned last time that the home guard is very dumb and OP. Still definitely think that after having a lot more games on this new patch. People are just zooming. Based on my experience right now, Ignite solo lane feels a lot better. It will feel a lot better. I think in solo queue, Ignite solo lane might actually just overtake TP, especially on champions like, let's say, Aurelia and Echo, who can one-shot waves very easily and don't need the initial TP. They can kind of reset anytime they want. I think home guards are disgustingly overtuned. I don't think it's good for the game. You solo kill somebody, they insta run back to the lane. And sometimes, like, I've noticed in scrims in bot lane especially, it has such a huge effect. Like, I'm not kidding, like in bot lane, because people are lower level, you 2v2 kill them, right? And then there's like a neutral wave, like a non-canon wave in the middle, and you have 2 champions alive, and let's say you're playing like a Caitlyn. You start pushing the wave mega fast, you kill the wave, you start pressing B, enemy support is already back freezing the wave, and then it completely changes like bot lane dynamic. Like on bot lane, sometimes it's literally correct, after you 2v2 kill somebody, it's literally correct to insta-press B, not even push one wave before basing, and you have 2 people alive. Just because of how strong home guard is. No cap, like, it is game-changing completely. I guess those are some of the new season thoughts. We'll be curious to see if Riot ships, like, exactly the version of what we're playing right now. And if it is, I'm very, very curious to see how people are gonna respond to it, right? Because, like, our team doesn't really like most of the changes, I would say, based on talking to our team. Not sure how other teams feel, but it's obviously new, and without solo queue data, it's also very hard to judge things. Like, look at this Reddit thread right here. This is the difference between live home guard and current league home guard. Look at it. Do you see how big of a difference this is? This is gonna change the lane dynamics a lot, you know, a lot. Quickly, we gotta talk about Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is apparently losing her boots passive. Cassiopeia next season seems like she will be able to buy boots again. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Cassiopeia will now be 340 base MS, which is very high for a mage. And she will now be able to buy boots. They're probably doing this because on the mid lane quest you get tier 3 boots, so it feels kinda bad if Cassiopeia cannot get tier 3 boots because of the quest. And her new passive will be that all move speed bonuses are more effective by 6 to 40%. So when she hits Q, if she buys an item like Cosmic Drive, it's move speed bonuses, okay? So it's only about bonuses. So my initial thoughts on this is that her early game might be a little bit better because she gets more move speed in early game. So I'm assuming her early levels are going to be a bit stronger. But I think this passive, at least based on like, I saw some numbers, people were doing some numbers. Apparently this passive sucks. Apparently, especially later throughout the game, you just have a lot less MS with this new passive. And you don't break the old passive ever. And, you know, are you really going to be buying like Cosmic Drive? Maybe, but you won't be buying much more than tier 2 boots and Cosmic Drive. I think overall, I think it's definitely okay that Cassiopeia can buy boots again. I think I'm totally fine with that change. I don't think it's a problem. I just think maybe this will be a little bit too weak or something, or maybe there needs to be another thing added to the passive. Like this is fine, but maybe they need to add one more layer of a different type of passive. I think it's cool though that they're trying to make identity of Cassiopeia that she's really like fast, like a snake, slithery. So personally, I'm a fan of this change. I just think maybe the numbers are maybe looking a bit weak and the passive maybe is a bit too bland. Maybe they need to add a little bit more to it.